Hey guys, today's video I'm not using a face cam for because of the specific graphic that I'm using for the video, but I just wanted to do this in person. Thank you guys for 300 subscribers. I'm not doing a video for 300, I'm going to do the next video at 500, but I can't believe that we went from 222 to 305 subscribers in a matter of 20 hours or 30 hours or less. That's insane to me, and that's just insane. Thank you so much for all the support. I want to thank every single person who has watched a single video on this channel. The support means the world to me, and thank you. I want you guys to know that I really appreciate every single one of you. So thank you all for watching my content. Now, without further ado, let's get into the video. So today's video, I'm going to be going over the 2020 NFL standings. This is similar to the power rankings, but it's a little bit different because this is where I think that the team standings will end up being. The power rankings, for me personally, are based on the team's overall, how good the team is overall, and how I think that they're going to do. The standings, I'm predicting their final 16-game standings. I don't know if this is entirely possible because I haven't checked every single game with each other, but with all the important teams, I checked to make sure that it was the right teams interacting with the right teams. I have 256 games, which is how many games there are in the season, so it should work out. Before we get started, only 7% of you are subscribed, so if you enjoy my content, then you should subscribe. It's free, it really means a lot, and you can always unsubscribe. So first on the list, we have 1 and 15. These are the Jets and the Jaguars. The Jets, I don't know if they're going to win a game, but I'm not going to predict anyone to be 0 and 15 or 16 and 0 because those happen so rarely that I can't predict that it's going to happen. So the Jets will win one game, I predict, and the Jaguars, I think, will stay at 1 win. At 3 wins, we have the Cowboys and the Texans. If the Cowboys had any other quarterback in the league except for whoever their starter is now, I think that they would be doing fine. But once Dak Prescott left, Dak Prescott was their team. He worked with that system on the offense, and their defense is so bad that I don't think any other quarterback could do what Dak Prescott did with that team. So I don't think that they're going to win any more than one more game. And the Texans have too hard of a schedule. They have a decent team, but their schedule is too hard, and they've had too little success this far in the season. If you look at the Bears, the football team, and the Giants, they're all next at 4 wins. This is 4 wins instead of 4 and 12 because the Bengals would be 4-11 and 1. The Giants have 3 wins right now, but they have a very hard schedule. The Washington football team has 2 wins. They have a slightly easier schedule, and the Bengals have 2 wins. And they have a fairly easy schedule. I think the Giants are the best team of these 3, but I have them winning the least amount of games going forward in the season because they have the hardest schedule by far. Their schedule is pretty rough. I think they have 2 divisional games, so I'm assuming they split those divisional games and then they lose the rest because their schedule is tough. For the 5-win teams, we have the Broncos, the Eagles, Falcons, and the Chargers. I have the Eagles at 5 wins, winning the NFC South at 5-10-1. The NFC East at 5-10-1. This will be the lowest record an NFL team has ever won a division with. The record previous was 7-9 with Cam Newton and the Panthers in 2011, I think, or somewhere in that realm. The Eagles currently have 3 wins. The Broncos currently have 3 wins. The Falcons currently have 3 wins, and the Chargers currently have 2. I looked at all of their schedules. I think that the Chargers can win 3 more games. The Eagles, the Broncos, and the Falcons all have harder schedules than the Chargers. And I think the Chargers, honestly, are a better team than all 3 of them. They have a worse record, but they have a very solid offense. They've had a hard schedule so far. And now it's time for their easy part of their schedule. So I think that they'll end up with more wins in the latter half of the season than at the beginning of the season. And for the 6-win teams, we have the weird light blue colored teams. We have the Panthers and the Lions. The Lions currently have 4 wins. The Panthers currently have 3. The Lions have a very hard schedule to end off the season. So I think that 6-10 is a perfect fit for both of these teams. They're both pretty mediocre talents. The Lions are always a mediocre talent, and so are the Panthers. They always have a chance to make the playoffs, but they never have any really special seasons. So I'm not really too shocked to see that both of these teams are likely going to be 6-10 when the season is over. At 7-9, we have the 49ers and the Bears. The 49ers have been hovering around the 500 mark the entire season, and I don't think that they're going to end up on the positive side of it. They had a good start to the season, but the last few, I think they've lost 2 in a row now, 2 or 3 in a row, and they are in the hardest division in football, which means that their schedule also is equally as hard. The Bears, on the other hand, started off 4-0, then they went to 5-1, and now they are 5-5. And I honestly just don't know what to say about the Bears. They've lost 4 games. They've lost 5 of the last 6 games, and I can easily see them going 2-4 for the rest of the season. At 8-8, we have the New England Patriots. The Patriots are 4-5 right now, and they're coming back from their 2-5 deficit. They had some issues at the beginning of the season. The team is finally clicking. The team finally figured out how to work well together, and I think that their schedule is mediocre enough that 8-8 is a pretty straightforward thing for them to get to. They just need to win 4 of their next 7 games, and I can definitely see them doing that. At 9-7, we have the Vikings and the Browns. The Vikings are also 4-5, just like the Patriots, but they have an easier schedule than the Patriots do. Also, the Vikings are yet to lose a game when Dalvin Cook has over 20 rushes. If Dalvin Cook carries the ball 20 times, the Vikings win. So I think that the Vikings are, just like the Patriots, just need to find their niche. They just need to figure out what works for them. And they need to keep Dalvin Cook healthy, because if Dalvin Cook stays healthy, he stays on the field, then the Vikings will continue to do well. I think that they can go 5-2 in the next 7 games. And the Browns are currently 6-3. I have them going 9-7. I have them winning 3 of the next 7 games. And the reason for that is because of their schedule. This is the difference between power rankings and schedule predictions, because the Browns have a hard schedule. I think the Browns have a better team than the Vikings, but they're at the same level because of their schedule. So, the Browns have a very tough schedule coming up, and I think 9-7 is a perfect fit for them, just barely outside of the playoffs. Now at 10-6 is where we start getting to some more of the 6-3 teams. We have the Titans and the Colts, we have the Dolphins, and we have the Rams. So the Dolphins and Rams are both locked in the AFC East, NFC West 6-3 duel of 5 teams. And right now, the Dolphins, I think, have the hardest schedule coming up. They have a couple of the hardest teams in the league, as well as their own division, which includes the Bills and the Patriots. The Patriots beat them earlier in the season and are coming on strong late in the season. And the Bills beat them earlier in the season and are having a good season just in general. So with the Dolphins' tough schedule, I can definitely see them winning 4 of the next 3 and going 10-6. With the Rams as well, personally, it's just which 2 teams of these 2 divisions do I think are the worst, and which 2 teams do I think are going to lose the most divisional games. And so far, the Rams are losing the most divisional games in their division, and the Dolphins are losing the most divisional games in their division. So I think that they're likely to continue that stretch. Also at 6-3 of the Titans and the Colts, I think that the NFC South will be decided by a tiebreaker. I think the Colts will beat the Titans twice and win the tiebreaker. The Titans will be the 2 seed, will be the 7 seed. The Colts will be the 4 seed, and I think the Titans have an easier schedule, but I think the Colts can beat them twice. I think that it'll be a very interesting finale to the season in the NFC South, but I think the Colts will come out as the number 1 seed in their division, and they're going to have the same record. Moving on to the 11-5 teams, we have three. We have the Seahawks, the Bills, and the Raiders. I'm not saying that the Seahawks are better than the Rams, but I think the Seahawks have an easier schedule to end off the season. I think that they can go 5-2 to end off the season. And same with the Bills. I think that the Bills do have a better team than the Dolphins, and will go 5-2 because they have a better team and a similar schedule. And the Raiders, I can easily see finishing off the season 5-2 as well. They'll probably lose to Kansas City, but moving on, we have the 12-4 teams. Currently at 12-4, I have the Cardinals, the Buccaneers, and the Ravens. The only reason why the Ravens are at 12-4 is because I think that they're going to win the second matchup against the Steelers. If they lose the second matchup against the Steelers, I think that they will go 11-5. If they win, I think they'll go 12-4. So I think that the Ravens are going to win that matchup. The Steelers won the other one. It was a very close game. I think the Ravens are going to come back with a vengeance, and they're going to win. On either side of the Ravens, we have the Cardinals and the Buccaneers, both in the NFC. The Cardinals are going to be winning their division and getting the 3 seed, and the Buccaneers are going to be losing their division and getting the 5 seed. They're both currently 6-3. I have them going 12-4 because of their schedules coming up. I think that the Cardinals are dominating their division right now. I think they're going to continue to dominate their division and hand off some more losses to their divisional rivals. I think that all of these teams could potentially go 11-5, but I also think they could potentially go 12-4. And I think the 12-4 is more. I think it's more exciting to see a couple extra teams with 12-4. I also think that the Cardinals and Buccaneers schedules are easier down the stretch than some of the other 6-3 teams that we have in the league. So currently, the Cardinals and the Buccaneers are both projected to be at 12-4. At 13-3, we have the Saints and the Packers. Both of these teams currently are 7-2, and I think they can go 6-1 for the rest of the season. The Saints are losing Drew Brees for the next 3 weeks, but I think that with their schedule for the next 3 weeks, that shouldn't impact their final ranking too much, unless they lose one of the games to the Falcons. If they weren't playing 2 games against the Falcons, I would say that Drew Brees being out for 3 weeks won't affect them at all, but 3 games against the 2 games against the Falcons, they might win one of them because they do have a good team. So I'm expecting the Saints to win all 3 of those games, but I'm not really positive. And then I have the Packers winning the NFC because they have a tiebreaker over the Saints at 13-3. I know I had the Saints better than the Packers in the power rankings, but I have the Packers above the Saints in this video because I have them tied with the Saints winning the NFC because I think that they will win the NFC. I think that they will go 13-3 and they'll win the NFC, even though I think the Saints do have a slightly better team at this point in the season. At 14-2, we have the Kansas City Chiefs. Oh, one more thing. This 13-3, I think that in the Saints-Chiefs matchup, the Saints are going to win. That is the thing. This is later on after Drew Brees gets back from injury. I think that the Saints will beat the Chiefs, and that's what's going to put the Chiefs at 14-2 and keep the Saints at 13-3. If they lose, the Saints will go 12-4, and the Chiefs will go 15-1. That's the only game I have Kansas City losing for the rest of the season. They're a very strong team, and that's pretty much all you need to know. And at number 1, we have the Pittsburgh Steelers at 15-1. I have them losing 1 game to the Ravens, and that is about it. They have the most solid team in the NFL. They have the most solid, well-rounded NFL team this season, I believe, and they have Ben Roethlisberger, a veteran quarterback who knows how to play in playoff games and in tough situations and important scenarios. So I think the Steelers are the clear favorites in the NFL right now at 15-1. So thank you all for watching the video. I really appreciate the support. Thank you again for 300 subscribers. I know I just did a video yesterday for 250, which is insane. So 305 actually. So thank you guys so much. If there's any videos that you guys want me to do, please leave a comment down below and I'll make sure to make that video happen. I love hearing your guys' answers, and I love hearing what you guys want me to do and what you guys want me to talk about. So thank you guys so much for all the support. Thank you guys so much for watching. I will see you guys all in the very next video. which will be tomorrow. It's another Hunger Games video. Peace out.